Good morning. Say that again, for a game of celebration. Good morning. Good morning. All right, all right. Welcome back to Atlanta. Welcome back to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Welcome back to the Cricket Celebration Bowl 2022. What a season it has been. A season like no other. A unique season. Fire burned brightly, but a flame that was lit on this platform. Celebration Bowl. Give people a chance to look, revisit, take inventory of HBCU athletics, the possibilities, what had happened and what could happen going forward. We're so proud to have two teams coming to represent their conferences. We're looking to win this game for the first time. As we've been told, the media is going to have a chance to ask questions. Those of you who are joining us virtually, thank you for joining us. You won't have the ability to ask questions, but you will be able to listen to all the comments that will be made today. All right, let's get things started. Let's welcome to the stage Executive Director of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, Mr. John Grant.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the opening press conference for the 2022 Cricket Celebration Bowl. As Sam indicated, the road to Atlanta is coming to an end on December 17th here in this venerable stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What a season it has been. A number of teams started in August, and two are left standing. The North Carolina Central Eagles, representing the Mideastern Athletic Conference, and the Jackson State Tigers, representing the Southwest Athletic Conference. So I want to thank you all from the press for attending with us today. We're glad to have everyone here. Lunch will be served immediately following, and we really would ask you to certainly stay around and join us for that. You know, this is a great year for us in HBCU football. And more importantly, it's a great year for the Cricket Celebration Bowl. We're going to announce that this game is sold out. We have standing room only tickets that we're selling now. And this is our first sellout this early in the season in this game's history. You know, having two teams that I've watched closely all season long. I mean, and we've had some cliff-hanging situations through this football season. But at ESPN, we're proud to be able to present more football games on the HBCU space than has ever been shown. In 2015, when we launched the Cricket Celebration Bowl, we carried 32 games. As of this year, over 150 HBCU games were carried on ESPN platforms. I think that deserves a round of applause. We have a full weekend around this year's games. It is focused on certainly that we create three things for our staff from our perspective. One, that we create a world-class experience for the student athletes and the band members who earn the opportunity to be on this national stage. Two, that we create a world-class experience for our fans who spend their money, make the trip, and to attend this game. And third, that we create a world-class experience for those who turn on their televisions, hold up their phones, be on their electric devices, meet friends in bars to tune in to watch these two great teams compete against each other. And this is going to be an exciting game. We've got a lot of things happening in Sam, and I'm sure they will talk about that in a moment. I do want to take a moment of personal privilege. And I want to acknowledge Coach Deion Sanders, who came into Jackson State in 2020, and who now, as we all know, has accepted the opportunity to be the head coach of Colorado. But in his time at Jackson State and the commitments that he made to really elevate HBCU football, he has done that. To bring attention to the platforms, he has done that. To demonstrate to our young student athletes that you can come to HBCUs, you can be seen, you can get an opportunity to demonstrate your talents, and you can move on to the next level. He has done that. So for that, we're grateful. We're grateful that this stage will be his last stage that he will at Jackson State. And we're grateful for that. So if you're out there listening, Coach Sanders, on behalf of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, thank you, and we can't wait for you to arrive here with us. A week full of activities starting on Wednesday when our teams arrive. Man, we're going to show them the time of their lives. The Coca-Cola Companies has a welcome dinner at the called Taste of Atlanta at the World of Coca-Cola. On Friday, we have activities with them and the National Football League, careers in the NFL off the field. We have working with our new partner, Visa and Truist, who's an existing partner. We're going to give them an education moment around financial education and financial literacy in a new game that they have called financial football. So it's going to be competitive, but they're going to learn something while they're here as well. Thursday night, we will have our Champion Circle Showcase, where we will be inducting Coach Buddy Pugh into our Champion Circle as the winning coach of the 2021 Cricket Celebration Bowl. And I'm pleased to announce to you today, we will be also launching our inaugural inductee into the Cricket Celebration Bowl, newly created Hall of Fame. And that inductee will be Mr. Tariq Cohen, who was the most valuable player of our inaugural Cricket Celebration Bowl game and went on to be drafted by the Chicago Bears. We're excited that he's going to be here and to accept this honor, and we can't wait to induct him into this year's Hall of Fame. Friday, our fan experience, we will be hosting a fan experience from 6 until 9 at the Georgia International Convention Center International Plaza. That fan experience will also open on Saturday, and we have concerts, fun activities that will take place for all of our fans. And before I close, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge our representative from our title sponsor, Cricket Wireless, PJ Parr. If you just stand, thank you so much for being here, and let's give our title sponsor, Cricket Wireless, a round of applause. Cricket has a strong commitment to HBCU. They're not only the title sponsor of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, our Week 0 game, the Cricket NEAC SWAC Challenge, but they also have strong relationships and sponsorship with the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and the SIAC Conference as well. So they are deeply rooted in the HBCU and invested in the HBCU experience. PJ, thank you, and your team for your investment. With that being said, I'm going to introduce the people you guys came here to also hear from. And I'd like to ask to come up to the podium and introduce the Director of the Vice President. I want to get that right, because I don't want to leave, Ashley will get on me if I leave out any part of this. But he's the Vice President and Director of Athletics at Jackson State University, Mr. Ashley Robinson, and he'll be followed by Mr. Skip Perkins, who is the Director of Athletics for North Carolina Central University. Ashley.
Good morning. We're excited to be back in Atlanta for the Cricket Celebration Bowl. I want to thank our title sponsor, our Cricket and all our corporate sponsors for making this game possible. I want to thank John Grant. Great vision, brother. Great vision. We talked about this 6 or 7 years ago, and I want to thank you, even with the MEAC swag and the celebration mode. I want to congratulate North Carolina A&T, my guy, Skip Perkins, and Coach Oliver.
Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second.
Oh, I'm sorry, North Carolina Central. I apologize. North Carolina Central, AD Skip Perkins, I'm sorry, Coach Oliver, and staff for winning the MEAC and making this here to Atlanta. It's certainly been an exciting season for Jackson State University. Our first 12-0 season, our second straight title, SWAC title, 18 SWAC championships in program history. Coach Prime couldn't be with us today, but certainly he's been a force behind the outstanding run of Jackson State over the last few years. And we thank him for all he's done for JSU, HBCU culture to shine the spotlight on greatness of all our institutions. With that being said, we have one more goal to achieve, and we're excited about the opportunity to compete next Saturday. Go Tigers.
Good morning, all. On behalf of our Chancellor, Dr. Johnson Akalinye, the whole Eagle Nation, we are honored, excited to be here. I want to recognize the cricket sponsor and all the other sponsors that are here. Thank you so much for your support. And I also want to recognize John Grant. I remember being back in SWAC years ago when this was just in its infancy, and I never thought it would happen. So now to be a MEAC athletic director and see us here is unbelievable. This has been an awesome and fun year for us. A tough gauntlet to go through in the MEAC, and then also to have a 9-win season. Don't forget, we're only 11 years as a Division I institution, and to see us already, back in this game is truly, truly exciting. We've had some unprecedented growth on campus with our residential halls. Wow, academic buildings, a new $55 million student union, and now to see our athletic program, and most importantly, our mighty, mighty football team at this level is truly amazing for us. I also want to recognize Gary Fleet-Harrell, who I actually had to work with, the pleasure, his alma mater, Howard University. Good to see you back again in this leadership role. Also, Coach Sanders, looking forward to competing against him on Saturday, and Ashley Robbins, someone I've known for a very, very long time. Jackson State is a tremendous, formidable opponent, and we will have to be at our best to give ourselves a shot. But I have a classmate and alum that will make sure that we shine. So Trey Oliver, it's on your watch now, but we are truly excited and happy to be here. Thank you all very, very much.
Coaches in a minute. Coaches in a minute. Directors on the opposite side of the book.
We get the coaches. Let's just get the coaches real quick. Just the coaches.
Like get y'all shaking hands. No, that's it.
You go.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Now I want to introduce you, a gentleman you just heard from earlier, but my very good friend, longtime friend, Mr. Sam Crenshaw. Sam Crenshaw has been in Atlanta media covering sports for years and is currently the 92.9, at 92.9 The Game. He's also a reporter for ATO 26, City Channel 26, and is a broadcaster for Georgia State Athletics. As a member of the Georgia GPB sports crew. Sam serves as an analyst for in-studio programs and serves multiple roles for high school football and basketball and state finals. So without further ado, my friend, Sam Crenshaw.
Thank you so much, John. Once again, it's a privilege and an honor to be here. I want to say both coaches, yes, I do work with GPB. Yes, in the state championship week. I don't know if we have a chance to go check out some of our talent, but it's on display the next 3 days of Georgia State. The first game starts at 5 o'clock today. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I know y'all want that Georgia talent. It is indeed a privilege and honor to spend it. We talked about the teams and acknowledged the pathway the teams took to get here. And the amazing thing was the celebration that we're having this week, the celebration for the game coming up next week, of what has been achieved by both of these schools. Jackson State, of course, with a record of 12-0, first time in school history conference championship, led by Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Representing Jackson State today is Coach Gary Harrell. You were here last year, Coach.
Yes,
And I remember all the way back to your days at Howard University.
Yes, sir.
We want to get the first thoughts from you about being back at this game again. And the question I have is, a lot of people want to say swag. This game has been MEAC, because MEAC has won this game most of the time. You all.
Absolutely. First of all, let's start off by saying it is an honor and a privilege to be here for Jackson State University, to be a part of this platform, this wonderful event. But I'd like to start off by sending out prayers and thoughts to those 3 members at Southern University Band. Their families, I know it's a tough time for them, so just want to make sure we acknowledge them during this time as we continue to move forward. But this is a game that we definitely look forward to. Coach Prime did a great job as far as the leadership the past 2 years, as far as getting us to this particular point. We're very excited to be 12-0, first time in school history, back-to-back champions since 95, 96. Thing I look for more as far as the similarities between these 2 teams. They have a great a leader. And I like to start off by saying our leader, our AD, Ashley Robinson, Skip Perkins, those involved. Thank you, Cricket, for continuing to believe in this vision. John Grant, Coca-Cola, the Atlanta Falcons. It's a great event. And I go back to 2011, I first started coaching when it came to existence and conversations. And look at us now. We're still thriving. It's a great stage. It's about the events. It's about the experience that you guys are giving these kids outside the game. So it's bigger than the game. There's a lot of things that goes into it. But we're looking aside. We've been watching Central all year. We knew that team will be here where they are today. They did a great job as far as doing all the things you go back to since this guy arrived. Every year they got better. They had a great win against New Hampshire. And it showed the type of talent that they have, but the similarities. The quarterback, offense player of the year, linebacker, player of the year, head coach of the year, our quarterback, offense player of the year, our linebacker, Aubrey Miller, defense player of the year. So we got so many things that's going on within the game, within the program. And it's going to show on next Saturday, December 17 at 12 o'clock. So I really advise those that have been a part of this event to really be there on that day. It's going to be very exciting. I really anticipate this game being very exciting. But we look forward to it. When you look at Central, as far as the things they do, third down conversion, they're number 1 when it comes to FCS. That means they're doing the right things as far as staying on the field, moving the chains. Scoring tied offense, they up there. I think they're number 6, total offense, number 14. So a lot of things they're doing, that quarterback have been there for a long time. They have chemistry, they have experience. But we know, we've done our research, we know what type of team, we know opponent that we're playing, we'll be well prepared. And we understand that on defense, red zone defense, they do a good job as far as keeping you out of the end zone. So we look forward to the challenge. But we talk about preparation, what happened when preparation leads to opportunity, success happens. So we both look forward as far as understanding that we're prepared of what we got going on. We look forward to this opportunity that we have next Saturday on the 17th. And we don't take it for granted. We do not take it for granted. We have a lot of guys on our roster that do a great job. We have a great team, great chemistry. We have a great coaching staff. So the things that we believe from day one, as far as being smart, fast, tough, discipline with character. Every day we thrive on that. We bring it, but you got to give acknowledgement to our fan base. We cannot do it alone. We got through these times, we got through these games with our Sonny Boom, with our fan base. I mean, Jackson State University is a great, great entity. And we always look forward as far as coming out and representing that wonderful university. But one thing we understand, we understand that past performance is not indicative of future results. I say it again, past performance is not indicative of future results. So everything we did up to this point, we cross it out, It's a new season. Next Saturday is a new season. We look forward as far as coming out and put on a great show. This is gonna be once again, a platform, a stage that everyone in the country will be watching. And it's exciting to see that the HBCU University is a part of this. And once again, I thank you for really acknowledging Coach Brian, a man that came with a great vision, but it couldn't happen without AD Ashley Robinson believing that vision. But he put his best foot forward, and we understood where we are today, and we'll continue to carry out that vision and make sure we represent both universities the right way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach. Those of you who know me know I'm a reporter. I'm always looking for a scoop. And I got a scoop early this season that North Carolina Central will be here. From a mentee of mine who's on the team, who after last season got a national championship ring from that school in Athens. He told me after 3 games, North Carolina Central's coming to Atlanta. And sure enough, this happened. I'm sorry, Coach. He told me that. And so they're here. For the record of 9-2, coached by the Eastern Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Let's now hear from North Carolina Central head coach Trey Oliver.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'd like to thank Cricket Wireless and John Grant. Done an outstanding job. Whatever you touch, man, it's been gold from ever since I've known you. So like I said earlier today, whenever I see you, I know good things are happening. Ashley, I know that was a shot that you took. We're gonna talk about that after the press conference. We're gonna talk about the school up the street down the road. But I would like to thank our administration. And when I got here in 2019, when your vision can be aligned with your upper administration, your chancellor, the athletic directors and the support staff, it makes life a lot easier, and it's easy to obtain your goals. We did get a lot of honors this year, players of the year, coach of the year. I'm just so humbled and honored. And you can't do that without great people around you. We have a player, Juan Velarde, up for Doris Robinson Student Athlete of the Year award. And it's not just what he did in the community, but when you have a great sports information director that can tell a story in Kyle Serpa, that's how we promote our young men. So, we talk about having great people. When I got here, it was a culture over scheme. I thought that we had to change the culture. It wasn't about X's and O's, whatever plays you call it and all that stuff. We had to get the right young men in our program. A lot of folks looked at me crazy with my recruiting philosophy, and it's not cookie cutter. It's different for each program. But for me, it was about going out and getting great high school talent. I wasn't with all the transfers because at that point in time for us, I didn't think that we could build our program off of that. It's like this beautiful stadium right here, all the beautiful mirrors and windows and everything. If you don't have that foundation, it's gonna crumble. So I've been blessed. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year were both high school football players that we recruited out of high school. And once you get in there, you have to develop. And our strength and conditioning staff, Bulldog and TC, those guys really, really pushed our culture and everything that we preach. And I talk about it, I'm just a piece of it. Everybody there is just important as I am, from like I said, strength and conditioning, academic support, our trainers, video, everybody. So I'm just a piece of it. I'm the one that they put the microphone and camera in their face. But again, I'm just so humbled and honored. Our conference, the MEAC, for me to represent these guys and the talented schools that we have there and the talented group of coaches. Again, I'm just blessed to be here. In our conference, we only have 6 teams, so you really can't lose a game. Every game's like week by week, like a playoff. So we did stub our toe against South Carolina State and Buddy Pugh. And usually if you lose one, you're kind of out of it. But I don't know if Buddy Pugh kind of felt bad for me and let us back in there. But Coach Pugh, I appreciate you, opening that door and letting us have an opportunity to get down here. But in my conference, a lot of parity, a lot of really good coaches, and it's crazy because our conference, all of our coaches are really, really close. We call each other all the time and lean on each other. And, I guess iron sharpens iron, but we keep in touch and Coach Pugh is like a mentor to me and laugh and joke, but on Saturdays, we're trying to beat the heck out of each other. But again, with me at conference, so proud of what they've been able to accomplish. Commissioner Steele, we partnered with the National Football Foundation, so we just had an opportunity to take our 2 players out to Vegas, and they were acknowledged there, the National Football Foundation. So the exposure our guys get in our conference is second to none. Next weekend, Jackson State. I've had an opportunity to be in the coaching SWAC for 7 years down at Grambling and Southern University. Very familiar with the conference, very familiar with Jackson State University, outstanding program. The fan base down there is unbelievable. So we know that they're gonna come deep, but we are in the Falcon Stadium. So the Eagles are gonna pack the nest in here. We're gonna be at home. And I think we're gonna show up our fan base. But looking excited, we're looking forward to the game, excited about the matchup. This is probably the most talented team I've seen, FCS, and I think 2015 Grambling team was probably the best I've seen. But these guys right here are unbelievable. Across the board, even at long snap. I mean, he's even athletic and run down the cover. Does a great job of snapping the ball. So everybody they have everybody you see on film is outstanding. Defensive front, they playing 8 to 9 guys. Aubrey Miller is probably the best linebacker I've seen. And I know I'm sound redundant about everybody being the best, but their secondary, Travis, was it 4-star, 5-star goal?
I don't know.
A lot of stars, whatever he is. That dude's talented. But then you look on the other side, and they got 2 guys that are probably with their technique and fundamentals that are better than him. Their safeties are very physical, and then offensively, obviously, it goes through Shador. He's unbelievable, and you have to have a good trigger man. Anytime you get to this part of the season for a championship, you're gonna have a great quarterback. Up front, the offensive line is big and athletic. Running back by committee. I don't know how many scholarships you have, though, but y'all got. But no, I say that, man, in all honesty, and I'm not blowing smoke. They have a very good football team and outstanding coaching staff, and what they've been able to do in a short period is outstanding. I do think that we match up well with them in a lot of areas, and it's gonna be a good football game, and this is gonna be a championship knockdown, drag out football game, and I'm so excited to see it. And it'll be a good one. Folks will get their money's worth. Thank you.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. And now we're ready to open it up. What we do want to acknowledge 2 people, Dwayne and Kyle. Typically captain both of you guys for doing what you've done so very long, so very well. As you can see, I think 300 games for you. Congratulations on that. So some people I go back with to my days of hosting a show called Black College Sports Today. Y'all might not remember that. Anyway, do I gotta open up with some questions? Y'all ready? Okay.
Yeah, Jared Bell, USA Today. Coach Oliver, congratulations on reaching this game.
Thanks.
Good luck next week. I've got 2 questions for Coach Harrell. Can you shed some light on the unfinished business that your program may feel after reaching this game last year and not winning? And if you could shed some light on what the difference is on this team now versus a year ago. Second question involves Coach Prime and what's happened with the pending move to Colorado. How does that factor into your preparations? What has it been like over the past week or so dealing with that excitement versus getting ready for a game?
To your first question, it definitely is a great question, and we think about it all the time. I know Trey as a coach, football player, he understands it. You can go 12-0, at Howard University, I played in '93, was undefeated, played the game against Marshall, lost, never watched that game. It's like that season, it puts so much damper into your soul. You know, because that completion, you know, that last game really is a completion, but that's the last time you step on the field for that season. And now you have to go through the whole season with that on your mind. So last year really motivated us to get back to this point to where we are, because we do have unfinished business. You know, and they did a good job as far as coming out and being very physical and they deserve to win. But now we're 12-0, and we have to understand that, okay, now that season is over. In addition to the SWAC and the MEACs, we have a SWAC championship game. So much goes into that game. So a lot of emotion goes to that game. For the MEAC, once they win the MEAC, you know, they have about maybe 3 weeks to, I guess, to really unwind and continue to prepare for their next opponent. So it's like for us, we got to go through this roller coaster ride now, win the SWAC championship, but understand we still have a game to complete. And that's what we do every day. Every day, Coach Brian comes in with a word, you know, and that word is focus, and the other word is finish. And that's what we've been thriving on for the past 2 weeks. And we're going to continue to do that. And as far as preparation, our guys are doing well. And we have a great group of guys that stays focused. Anything that goes outside of the university, you know, it don't bother them. We done been through water crisis, we done been through the pandemic, and these guys continue to thrive. You know, so it's not about the people outside the team. It's about those young men. You know, this is for them. You know, they play for themselves. They play for the university. You know, as long as they show up, you know, in their uniform with that logo on the front of their chest, they name on their back. That's all we care about. Playing Jackson State football. Thank you.
Coach Trey Oliver, I know as a Jason McDonald, Core 360 Sports, I know as a alumnus and a former player for North Carolina Central, being able to bring this back home would be amazing. But talk about the way that, because of the 16 conference, having to play those 3 out of conference upper level teams, one being New Hampshire, which went to the second round of that CF bracket. What you found out about your team then, and then also being, you know, the implication of this first ever meeting between the 2 programs.
The first ever meeting between us and Jackson. We played, I think 3 times before, Kyle. Yeah, so it's been a while, I believe back in the 80s, but when we lost a couple teams out of Conference FAM and Bethune-Cookman and North Carolina A&T, we had to adjust our schedule and try to add some teams late. Usually look 4 or 5 years in advance. So we're kind of behind the 8 ball with that. So when we looked out of conference, I really wanted to look at some tough opponents. I think that the MEAC conference is underrated. I mean, I don't think we get nearly as much credit as we should. So for us to get the credit, let's go play some folks. Obviously non-conference, we played North Carolina A&T. When we played them, they were #1 team in the Big South. We scheduled New Hampshire. When we played them, they were #1 team in the CAA, ranked in the top 25. Played them at their place and beat them. Tennessee Tech, tough trip out to Tennessee, freezing out there. Finished last game of the season against those folks. That was a tough environment. So you have to schedule these tough non-conference games for people outside, you know, your conference to respect you. So I think we're battle tested, and you know, you can't sit back and play a bunch of lower level schools that you just gonna beat up on, and then people respect you. So for you to get respect, you gotta go knock out the big guy. Can't go out there and not gonna pick on the little guy. So go smack the big boy, and you'll get some respect there.
Don Stinson, DNA Sports. We know that this is a business trip for both of you coaches, and winning the football game is the most important thing. What are some other experiences and things that you hope that your players gain by being here?
I mean, for us, for Jackson State, it's always about networking. You know, come here and network. You know, as you move around and you attend the function, the seminars, the NFL. You know, folks can go to colleges, network, and go from there. You know, understand that there is life after football. You know, just get more from the experience alone. You know, gain the memories that, you know, when you look back at this particular day, you know, a lot of good memories, a lot of good things come out of it to share with your families. So once again, we've always tried to create that family atmosphere and teach the young men how to be men, you know, how to go about their everyday lives, but just to make sure they understand their next step in life is outside of football, and continue to network with the people that's involved with this great event.
Yeah, that to piggyback off what Coach is saying, yeah, I mean, life after football is huge. We have our director of football operations, Andrea Perry. She leads that initiative for us throughout, throughout the year. So weekly, we're always doing things with our guys to try to move them forward off the field. We'll go to the 2 events they have, but like you saying, it's a business trip. We'll catch up on all that life after football stuff on Sunday. But our number 1 focus is going to be on Jackson State University and winning this football game.
Gary Jones of BMA Sports. This question is for Mr. Trey Oliver. Do you think people underestimate you as a coach? But I think people fail to realize that you have 20 years experience coaching and you're the head coach. And of course, Coach Sanders only have 2 years of coaching. Do you think you can take your talent and come up with some things to win this game against him?
That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. I've been coaching Black college for 23 years. 6 conference championships, 3 national championships, and 3 different conferences. Division II North Carolina Central, we beat Southern University in 06, won a Black college national championship. We won one at Grambling State University. We won one at North Carolina A&T. So I just try to be humble and stay hungry with it. I was coached by NFL Hall of Famer Larry Little. So, but I don't get caught up in all that other stuff. I think that your team is going to take on your personality. So, I just try to stay as humble as possible and get these guys focused and worry about the next day. But I don't ever worry about what people, underestimate me or whatever the case may be. I know who I am. I know I'm a champion. I know I won a whole lot of games, but then they'll be humble and stay hungry.
Hey, Allison Mastrangelo, WSBN Atlanta. Thank you both for being here. This one's for Gary. I'm curious, how involved is Dion going to be in practices leading up to the Celebration Bowl? Will he be involved, or is it more of you? Do you think maybe this could be an audition for a head coaching job for you maybe in the future?
I mean, we're talking about Deion Sanders. He cannot be away. Even when he was going through the things he went through with his leg, it was hard to keep him away. So now he's able to get around. No matter using a mobile device, he's there. He's there every day. Even today, all this week, he's at practice. That's why I'm here filling in for him. He's a hands-on guy. He's a great leader. He would not miss this event. It's very important for him to finish this to the very end. And this is where it goes back to the previous question. Last year really bothered him as far as not completing the Celebration Bowl. So this is very important to him. So he's going to put his all into it. He's an Atlanta guy. He's a very prideful, spiritual guy, and we thrive on that. So to your point, he will be here. He won't be set for the world. He's going to be very heavily involved. He believe and continue to push this event because he really believes in this event. This is a very important event for not only for Jackson State University, but for all HBCU. This really pushes us out there for the whole public. You guys do a great job as far as covering the game and getting information out there. So it's so much that goes into it, but he will be here.
Hey, this is Solly Carr in the back with HBCU Game Day. So I'm repositioning my camera. Congratulations to both of you guys. Quick question for Coach Oliver. Your team had a longer time to prepare, but there was probably 4 or 5 SWAC teams that were still in the running after you guys had already won the MEAC. What was that process like for you? I know you were concentrating on your team, but just kind of keeping an eye on the SWAC and how all that drama unfolded down to the very last minute.
Right, we did have a couple of weeks off. First week, we kind of let the guys get away for Thanksgiving break and just try to refresh, recharge their batteries and spend some time with their families. That was very important for me. Then when they got back as a staff, we kind of looked at film and several teams. But with the guys, it was more so of finishing up their exams and finishing strong in the classroom. Obviously, it was about technique and fundamentals. Let's improve those areas, things we need to improve on. And then once we figure out who we're going to play, we will put together a game plan for them. But we weren't going to put together a game plan for 3 possible teams and all this other stuff and waste time and energy. So let's work on us because this is about us at the end of the day. Jackson's gonna do what they do, we're gonna do what we do. But I do know a lot of times you can spend, try to reinvent the wheel and do too much. So we weren't gonna implement a whole new defense, we weren't gonna implement a whole new offense. So whatever they seen on film is what we're gonna do.
Hey, I'm doing Miles Johnson, journalism student at Morehouse College. This is a question for Coach Farrell. I want to ask you, Jackson State going 12-0, winning the SWAC down this season. I wanted to ask, has there been a time that the team has been going through adversity, or it has been battle tested, and pick a point in this season where that's happened? Is how, can you take that to a team that, is obviously dominant, but as a coach, you feel like, they're thinking of certain like pockets where y'all can improve, but has there been a time this season where y'all have basic adversity have been balances?
Going 12-0, winning a game of college football is very difficult, within itself. And I think we did a good job as far as each week, going 1-0 and just focus on that one particular point. Like I said, when you step out the conference, Campbell, when you watch that team, a lot of great things that they possess. We want to make sure we put on a great show. And I think we came out and represented not only the SWAC, but just the HBCU level very well. Just like the Eagles, they went and did a great job using maps. And that's what you want to do when you step out the conference, show that, okay, we have great coaches, we have great players, we have the administration, we have the things that we can't compete with those type of universities. Every week we feel like adversity is there. But it's scary, when you watch us play. We're undefeated, but I promise you as a coach, and I'm sure Coach Prime shares the same thoughts. We feel like we haven't played our best game yet. FAMU, I think we played our most complete game, offense, defense, special teams. We showed dominant. Every year, every game, we talk about being dominant. We don't want to compete. We want to be dominant. And that goes in every week, but we feel like we haven't played our best game yet. And I think it's scary when we do put it all together. We'll come out, we'll jump out and go with big scores, and then we hit a wall. And then sometimes we just don't do the necessary things that win ball games, like I was talking about earlier, like third down percentage, they're very well with that. So you want to be masters of situations, and that's what we want to try to make sure we continue to thrive on. But I still think the best is yet to come, and I just pray it shows up next Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Jonathan Simmons from Real Talk Sports and WIGO 1570 here in Atlanta. It's actually for both coaches. May have been asked this earlier, but when you guys come to Atlanta, with this being kind of a hotbed of college football recruiting, do you guys get a chance to do much recruiting or take a look at some of the top athletes here?
No, we won't be doing any recruiting down here. We coming down here worried about winning this football game. I can't say enough about it. I knew there was a whole lot of talent in Atlanta, but we had to focus on the task at hand. So, we'll be, as a staff, we're not going to miss, out and going to games and all that stuff. Our staff will be locked in with our young men in meetings and focused on football games. So there's time and a place for it. And during the season, a lot of times on Fridays, we do go out and recruit. But I think when you have a national championship game online, we're not worried about that right now.
To piggyback on that, I think that we did a great job, with our administration, Deion Sanders, and being here today, that take care of itself. Teams that watch us, recruiting has changed. You get recruited by these young kids today. You don't have to go out and do all the recruiting. They come after you now. They do a good job as far as displaying their talent and sending in information. And you just got to do a great job on your end once you get through the celebration mode and go through it, filter through all the information and choose the right guy. But we feel like Jackson State sells itself. We have a product, we have a brand, and we're going to continue to put that on stage. Once again, like I said, next Saturday at 12 o'clock on the 17th, but we believe in our brand. We believe that we have a great university when it comes to the education component, and when it comes to sports, not only just football, but we do well as far as all the various sports, as far as winning championships. And I know kids love being a part of that. And we don't shy away as far as displaying it on social media. We want to show you what we got. We want to be very transparent. So yes, recruiting wise, we do that every day. We recruit by showing what we do and being who we are.
Vicki Jones, BMH Magazine of Sports. I did hear both of you use the same term, focus. But my question is about longevity. I know the game is here obviously be played from last year to this year, what I've seen is a level of acceleration and intensity when it comes to HBCU athletes. Folks are looking to, like you said, to your point, they're looking forward to get into these schools. There's a collective body of people around the country who have focused their attention on HBCUs, including this celebration bowl at this time. As far as longevity, how do you feel the bar that has been raised, if you felt it at all, in 1 year on HBCU schools and athletes impacts what happens going forward?
No, I think I want to only speak on this 1 year at Jackson State with my experience. I'm an HBCU guy, I love HBCU, I had a chance to earn a business degree from Howard University in '93. I started at Howard University as a coach in 2002. It was a head coach of Skip in 2011. Had a chance to go over to FAU and experience some different things and learn some great things, but it just didn't feel right for me. And I had a chance to come back at Alabama State and get back into that HBCU family. HBCU is different, the culture, the tradition that you get on the grounds, on the campus of all these universities. We always, try to make, and then we go out and sell our university. We got so much pride for our university at Howard, Hampton, North Carolina Central, various schools. And we understand that, but all these schools bring great value. And when you talk about longevity, HBCU been around for a long time. It has been doing a great job as far as educating young Black men and women up to this point. And it does a great job as far as giving you an understanding of reality, and I would great, as far as me, my longevity, I would be here today without Howard University, the things I learned on that campus. But everything has escalated to a whole different level when it comes to social media, things that we're now putting out there. Also with the NILs, also with things that goes into recruiting. I think longevity, the biggest part of longevity, sure you understand as far as, go back to what he was saying as far as the recruitment. When you recruit the right guy, out of high school, when you develop that guy, that's what longevity comes. When you get that guy on your campus, when you sit before him, you talk to him, you raise him like a man. And every time you go home for Thanksgiving break, summer break, the family, the mom, they see a different person to come home. That's longevity. That's how you continue to matriculate a young man, a young woman through the curriculum on every campus to make sure they get a degree. The NCAA got so many regulations that's involved, but when it comes to the administration, when it comes to the coaches, when you do a good job as far as bringing on the right person, the right fit, and creating that culture like you just talked about earlier, then HBCU, when it comes to longevity, it's always going to be in great hands.
And I piggyback on him, what Coach is saying as well. Both of us being products of HBCUs, and it's been great. And a lot of folks are just seeing it now with the social media presence and all that stuff. But from where it's come from, when we were in school, I was in North Carolina Central in 94, 98. And, we only had one outfit, and you might have to share a helmet, and Coach come out to the field, I get his helmet, he get my helmet, and just don't put my mouthpiece in it. But, from where it's come, coaches back then weren't making any money, and you're gonna have to teach classes and do all this other stuff. But from where it's come, it's night and day, but it's always been a great thing. You can go back to the Heritage Bowl. HBCUs are unbelievable and have been. And it's great now that the whole world can see it, and we have a platform. But the young men, like you're talking about with the guys you bring in, our team GPA is a 3.0, and our Life After Football program sets these young men up to get internships. And the opportunities that you get from coming from HBCU and how you're developed I think is a little bit different. The opportunities and you have to work for it. Things aren't given to you. Financially, you got to stand in line. Ain't nobody going to do this for you. They're going to develop you, turn you to a man. And I'm sure when Coach got to Howard, he wasn't the man he is now. But I know all the people at North Carolina Central mean the world to me, and that's why I'm forever indebted to them, because they made me the man I am today. And now I'm just trying to pour into the hearts of the next one and develop these young men I have on my team now.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks to everyone who took part in this. We're gonna have time for one-on-ones after we're done. So any questions we're not answered by that time. Strand, you have anything further? Any further? Credentials, what do you know about credentials if you don't have it?
Friday is the last day, if you haven't already applied for your credentials. You have to do so by Friday, this Friday. I'm not seeing any after that date, but hopefully all of you guys have already applied. And I'm not got that. Line, got celebration going on.
Okay, thank everyone for being here today and thank all of those who joined us virtually, joining us for this press conference today. One thing that I've heard the enthusiasm in this room and what I've seen this year, my thing that I wonder